We're talking about building a society where no one is oppressed, as reflected in the top paragraph of our national anthem. As a former president and also from the Niger Delta, when the issue of suspending the governor came up, I think people call on me, oh, President Jonathan, oh, President Obasanjo, you should say something. People expected us to say something about what is happening. And of course, people don't even know that traditionally all over the world, former presidents hardly make statements about what the current presidents are doing because of the tension it could create in the country. In most cases, look at America, look at everywhere. So hardly for former presidents to make, sometimes you see and you believe. And of course, what is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in Rivers State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do, but they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody. And sometimes we do things and we think that it doesn't affect us. I've been a president before, and even after leaving office as a former president, people get to me. Why is that our passport is not valued that much? Why is that Nigerians are not given the kind of treatment we're supposed to receive at the international airports? Sometimes we think it's because of Yahoo boys or 419ers. No, not only them. Yes, they are part of the problem. But whatever happens in a country, decisions that are taken by the executive arm of government, decisions that are taken by the parliament, judicial decisions affect everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised, where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that economy because we are taking a big risk. So whatever we do affects everybody. And if we must build a nation for our children and our grandchildren, no matter how painful it is, we must strive to do what is right. It may cost us, but we must endeavor and pay the price to insist on doing what is right. Whether you're holding an executive office as a president, a minister, or a governor, or a special advisor, or executive, whether you're holding an office in the parliament, senate, or rep, whether you're a judicial officer at the high courts or appellate courts, we must strive to do what is right. If we want to build a nation that our children will be proud of.
With unmistaken terms, Jonathan has defined and summarized the action, the unruly behavior, and unconstitutional acts of the President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Jonathan was the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, of course, who has great regard for the rule of law. He has the chances, the powers to manipulate the elections, but decided that the voice of the electorate, Nigerians, matters most to him than his personal interests or pursuits. With unmistaken words, has summarized the person of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. That what transpired in Rivers State, the suspension of an executive governor of Rivers State, is a clear abuse of office, clear abuse of power, and clear abuse of privileges. indicting the executive, the judiciary, and the legislators, unfortunately, making themselves a mockery to the Committee of Nations. An average Yoruba, responsible Yoruba man should be ashamed of Ahmed Bola Tinubu because the damage and the pain he is causing the Yoruba race cannot be quantified. I tell you the truth. Some persons might say it is personal to Tinubu and his administration, but that is wrong. If it were to be an Igbo man, of course, you would generalize it. If it were to be a Fulani man, you would generalize it. If it were to be an Hausa man, you also generalize it. If you are to be an Ijaw man, you also generalize it. The damage, the shame Tinubu administration has brought to the Yoruba base, the Wese, of course, it will take, if not eternity, to clear up the mess. By my own opinion, and based on the submission of the former president of Nigeria, if it were to be Obasanjo, people will say Obasanjo is this and that. But this is Jonathan coming straight with unmistaken words, without any apology to anyone, stating the record straight that it is a clear abuse of office, clear abuse of power and privileges. Indicting the judiciary for being complicit, the legislatures, unfortunately, those who call themselves honorable, but they lack honor by their actions and their behaviors, the service to humanity and to the people of Nigerians. He cited that this is why Nigeria is not regarded or is becoming a mockery to the Community of Nations as a result of the actions of the executive, the legislatures, and the judiciary. Of course, he pointed out that the Justice Binka Nyoko was, of course, part of those who graced the program. He was addressing the audience. That is a clear abuse, and no country will be established. No country can move forward with such crop of leaders who are self-centered, egocentric, only to build their own interests and political dynasty, not minding the general society, to build an egalitarian society where people will be proud to identify with. By Jonathan's submission, it means Nigerians are not even proud of Nigerians. So how do you expect international community to be proud of the same country where there is lawlessness, there is abuse of power, privileges, and offices with present impunity, and yet people could be silenced or not to express their own opinion. Of course, what kind of legacy are they trying to build for this generation and the upcoming generation? That is very clear. That is very clear. And Tinubu's administration thinks by surrounding himself with the Yorubas or his acquaintances, when you see the central bank governor is a Yoruba man, the Attorney General of the Federation a Yoruba man, the IG a Yoruba man, Chief of Army Staff a Yoruba man, Custom, Immigration Yoruba, and NAFDAC. I mean, name them. The lists are endless. It is quite a very disturbing development. And you think by so doing, you will feel secure. There is no security in impunity, in irregularity, in inconsistency, especially when it borders on the people. The only way you can feel secured is when you do what is right before God and man. If you think you can get away with that, well, not knowing the extent of damage and pain you are causing your own people, the Yoruba people, I must be very blunt and straight to the point. And if the Yorubas are responsible personalities within the Yoruba, which I believe they are, could hide themselves now or being not able to express themselves and call on Tinubu to retrace his path, the irreparable damage might incurred might live for a lifetime, might live with the Yorubas for a lifetime. It is very important that the attention of Tinubu should be called. Above all, what are you looking for? What impression are you trying to create? It doesn't become so powerful by holding on to power, surrounding yourself with your acquaintances, those loyal to you, not minding that they are not even making your government better. They're not serving the people. It's quite unfortunate. What Jonathan have said means there is no future for this country with a crop of leadership that is occupying the seat of power. That is, Nigeria is gone. That is what he's saying. That even people ask him as a former president, why is the Nigerian image before the public, international communities are not being regarded? The green passport is Nigerian image. It's being treated with disdain, with disregard, because of the activities and incidents, the recklessness on the part of the people who governs. They think they can do away and get out, do anything and get out with that, not knowing that it has its ripple effect and negative impact on Nigerians, wherever they reside. They're being considered as lawlessness, people without regard for the rule of law and the rights of the people, who can manipulate, who can be bought over, induced, I mean, who are monetary, who has no value. They are only defined by the amount, whatever is presented to them. Has been alleged that a sitting senator could be induced by ordinary 15 or 16 million naira to carry out illegality, to support and sponsor illegality. As Jonathan choice words have almost defined everything, that there is no hope for this country, that Nigeria is gone. It is a clear abuse of office, abuse of power, and abuse of privileges. And he said that this wickedness of conspiracy, of lawlessness, is being, of course, engineered by the executive, the lawmakers, and the judiciaries. It's a very big shame. It's a very big shame and humiliation for Nigerians. It's quite unfortunate. But then, could there be any hope with a crop of leaders as Jonathan have maintained? If you have to build a system that must be trusted, then you must purge yourself from all this impunity. As I rightly said, you can't be secured when you're doing what is wrong.